It is July 14, 1921. Today we look into the Sacco and Venzetti case. The trial resulted from the murders of Alessandro and the guard accompanying him. May 31st, they were brought to the trial, and today we find out the verdict. What is your opinion about this case?
Well, I believe in the law system, and if they say he's guilty, by God, he's guilty.
Thank you for your opinion. Ma'am, do you have some time for some questions?
Well, yes, I do.
What's your opinion about this case?
I feel that the trial has been less than fair, and that the defendants have been judged more for their radical anarchist beliefs rather than for the crime for which they have been tried.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're very welcome.
I have just gotten word that the trial is over. Here comes Sacco and Venzetti.
No questions, reporter.
Are you innocent? Me and my pal Sacco, innocent!
No question!
Sadly, Sacco and Venzetti were found guilty. Join us next week on News Channel at 5. This is News Channel at 5. Today we are updating you on the case of Sacco and Venzetti. Socialists and radicalists protested the man's innocence. Many people felt that the trial had been less fair and that the defendants had been convicted for the radical and outrageous beliefs rather than for the crime for they had been tried. All attempts for retrial on the grounds of false identification failed. On November 18, 1925, Celestino Medeiros, under sentence for murder, confessed that he had participated in the crime with Joe Morley gang. The state Supreme Court refused to upset the verdict. Because of that time, the trial judge had the final power to reopen a case on the grounds of additional evidence. The two men were sentenced to death on April 9th, 1927. A storm of protest arose with mass meetings throughout the nation. Governor Alvin T. Fuller appointed an independent advisory committee consisting of President A. Lawrence Lauer of Harvard University, President Samuel W. Stratton of Massachusetts Institute of Technology, and Robert Gray, a former judge. On August 3, 1927, the governor refused to exercise his power of clemency. His advisory committee agreed. With this stand, demonstrations proceeded in many cities throughout the world, and bombs were set off in New York City and Philadelphia. Sacco and Venzetti, still maintaining their innocence, were executed on August 25th, 1927. Opinion has remained divided on whether Sacco and Venzetti were guilty as charged, or whether they were innocent victims of a prejudiced legal system in a mishandled trial. Some writers have claimed that Sacco was guilty, but that Venzetti was innocent. Many historians believe, however, that the two men should have been granted a second trial in the views of their trial's significant defects. On the 50th anniversary of their deaths in 1977, the governor of Massachusetts, Michael S. Dukes, issued a proclamation stating that Sacco and Venzetti had not been treated justly and that no stigma should be associated with their names. Thank you. That is all we have for today's news. Join us next week at News Channel at 5.